Good morning. Welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm coming with another recipe video for you today. Today we will be cooking an Italian frittata. What I love about this recipe is that it's one that can be used at any time of day for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever suits you best. This morning we are having it as breakfast slash brunch. By the time I eat it, it's going to be a little bit closer to lunch, so it's going to be my first meal of the day. I hope you guys like this recipe as much as I do. It's pretty quick and easy to do. When I did it last time, I used leftover Italian sausage links that I already had cooked. And to do that, I just warmed them up. But today I'm going to show you a different way that can be applied. So let's go ahead and go over these ingredients. All right, for today's recipe, you're going to need to have your oven set to 400 degrees. Mine is already preheating. We're going to need some onion, some red pepper. We're going to need about a half cup of cream. We need 8 eggs, a pound of Italian sausage. We're going to need about a tablespoon or 2 of butter. I have some mozzarella cheese, which we're going to need about half a cup, and then we're going to need a little bit of Parmesan cheese to your desired flavor. You can also use salt and pepper and however else you like to season your eggs. I will probably be using some salt. I'm going to get started by going ahead and chopping these veggies and getting the meat browned and ready to go. All right, the skillet's heating. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take the sausage and dump it into the skillet and get it browning. If I can figure out how to open a package of sausage. And this is just Italian sausage. You could do it with breakfast sausage, but I find the Italian sausage gives a little bit more flavor. And that is my oven telling me it has come up to 400 degrees. My hands. All right, let's get this started to break up our sausage. This is where I enjoyed using leftover sausages that all I had to do was slice up. So you could do it that way if you wanted to pre-cook some and go this route, but I figured let's try it this way and see if I like it better with sausage crumbles. So we're gonna let this start cooking a little bit more and we'll break it down as we go. Let's come over and start chopping some vegetables. We're gonna start with our red pepper. I probably won't show you me chopping everything up because, I mean, we should all know how to slice and chop up some vegetables at this point. All right, so I like pretty big chunks. Another thing that you could put in this, if you like it and you want it, is you can use a little bit of spinach. And I'll tell you how you could put that in and when it would be time to put in. And this is just one red pepper. You could use green pepper. I prefer the flavor of red pepper in something like this. I find it's a little bit sweeter. Green pepper to me just tends to be a little bland, but if you want to use a combination of red, green, and yellow, do it. Red, green, yellow, whatever you want to do, you can turn this recipe into that for you. So I just got a little bit more red pepper to slice up, and then we'll cut up the onion. All right, before we start on the onion, let's go ahead and try and break up the sausage a little bit more. Once the sausage is fully browned, we're going to take it off the stove. Then we can saute our vegetables up a little bit. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish cutting up the onion and browning the sausage. I'll come back and show you the next step in just a moment. One thing I did forget to mention that you are gonna need is you're gonna need an oven-proof skillet. I, of course, is using cast iron. They do make some aluminum ones as well, but cast iron tends to be my favorite. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn my heat down a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the sausage in a bowl. Now that it's all cooked up and crumbled down, make it a holder that's a little bit warm. Not super hot, but you know, I don't want to burn my hands in any way, shape, or form. That's not going to work for me. Need to work on my arm strength. My wrist strength, really. It's not my arm strength. All right, once we get all this sausage into the bowl, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in a couple tablespoons of butter so we can start sauteing our vegetables and getting them soft. All right, let's get that butter. It's 2 tablespoons of butter. You're gonna get it mixed around. Make sure that when you're putting your butter in, you're getting as much of your skillet coated as possible because again, it's going in the oven. So here we have our diced onion and red pepper. Those are gonna go in and get sauteed. So we're just going to saute these until they start to get soft. And then we will add our sausage back in just a few moments. All right, I'm going to come back in a minute and we're going to get the eggs prepped and ready to go while this is sauteing. All right, so again, I have 8 eggs. These are my favorite eggs of all time because they remind me of the chickens we used to have. They are heritage free-range eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and stir these one more time, turn our heat down a little bit because they're already getting pretty soft. All right, let's get these eggs going. We're gonna get them in a bowl. All right, so I get all these eggs in here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rinse my hands because I hate the feeling of egg on my hands. Get these veggies going. All right, now to our eggs, I'm going to season. So you can season how you want. I'm just putting some salt in here. We can do that. And then now we're gonna add 1/2 cup of cream. This is the heavy cream that we like to use. We get it from Kroger for their grocery delivery, and you need 1/2 cup. Apparently I need to stir that. Now let's get the rest of our 1/2 cup of cream. Go ahead and dump that in with our eggs. Stir the veggies. I'm gonna go ahead and at this point, I am gonna add our sausage back in. because the eggs are going to be going in momentarily. And I have this down all the way on a 2 on my electric stove. I can turn it back up in just a moment. At this point, I just want these to hang out and not get cold while we whisk our eggs. I don't know why I just didn't grab a fork, because I hate whisks. I never like them. But, you know, proper cooking techniques, I guess. I am not a proper cook. I just do what I like and use what I've got. Okay, so there's our eggs. Before we get our eggs in the skillet, we're gonna go ahead, and I have some Parmesan cheese right here and my cheese grater. I'm just going to grate a little bit of this Parmesan over our eggs and sausage. This is just for some flavor. You can use as much or as little as you would like. I'll probably end up putting some on top of this dish. This dish is not meant to be a super cheesy dish, so keep that in mind when you're doing this as well. There's probably a couple tablespoons right there. And then it does call for half a cup of mozzarella cheese. Again, I'm not going to measure. I just know that a small handful is going to be roughly about half a cup. You know, that's the great thing about cooking, is it doesn't have to be super exact. So we're just going to put that on there, and a little bit more. Set the cheese out of the way. Now we're going to take our eggs and we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour them right on top of all of our meat mixture. You could even probably do this with a dozen eggs if you would like. I'm just going to kind of spread that eggy mixture around the skillet to where the eggs are covering as much of the meat mixture as possible. But you're going to also want to keep this as even as a layer as you can. I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat back up to about a 4, so a little bit more than medium. And this is going to hang out and cook like this for about 4 to 5 minutes. So we're going to come back in 4 to 5 minutes and I will show you the next step. All right, so this egg mixture has been cooking for about 4 to 5 minutes. You want it to be where it's just starting to set. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna top it with a little bit more of Parmesan cheese. Just because I really like Parmesan cheese. And those onions are smelling great. Let me grab my pot holders, because now this is gonna go into that 400-degree oven for about 8 to 10 minutes or until it's completely set. All right, we're gonna finish cleaning up the stove and we'll be back in 8 to 10 minutes to show you what the frittata looks like when it's done. All right, so the timer's just gone off. We're gonna go ahead and check this frittata. It's been about 8.5 minutes. It's solid, and it looks like it needs maybe 1 more minute. There's a spot that's a little bit jiggly, so we're gonna put it in for about 1 more minute. All right, that's our timer telling us it's been in another minute. And this frittata is looking beautiful. So I'm gonna pull it out of the oven. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn off our timer and oven. And that is what our amazing frittata looks like. I cannot wait to dig in and eat this. I'm gonna let this cool probably for like 2 or 3 minutes just to let it be able to be cut easily. So we'll come back in just a few minutes. All right, so it's been a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to cut this frittata. I'm gonna cut it into 8 pieces. And then I'm gonna serve up a couple pieces for Matt and I, and we'll give you a taste test in just a moment. There's one piece. And 2 pieces. All right, well, let's go ahead and give this Italian frittata a taste. Try to get, ooh, some nice cheese right there. It's fantastic. Mine personally needs a little bit more salt, so I will put a little bit of salt on mine. Matt's not a huge salty person, so I always under season because I can add more. He can't take away. All right, so I will go ahead and I'll take the camera from Matt and I will let him do his taste test, and then we'll wrap this video up.
Okay, so it's my turn to try this. And I love eggs, cheese, sausage, the whole bit. So this is really gonna work well. It's still roasting hot. Yes. It reminds me of the frittatas we had at Crystal Palace last week, but 100 times better. So, well done. You guys are gonna love this recipe. It's awesome.
So which do you prefer, the sliced sausage or the crumble sausage?
I think I prefer the crumble.
Okay.
It's not like huge pieces of sausage like with the slices. You get a little bit of sausage here, might not get some in the next bite, but you'll get a nice sausage flavor. I think the crumbles tends to, the juices of it spread out through the thing, so you get the flavor.
Okay.
But either way, both good. Good for any time of the day. So,
all right.
I'm gonna keep eating.
Well, there you have it. That's this week's recipe for the Italian frittata. All the information you need to know how to cook it will be located down below. If you like this recipe, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, tell me what you think about it, share it with someone you think will like it. And we will check back in with you for next week's cooking video next week. We're also going to be doing another egg dish next week, as I am going to be doing carnivore-ish for the month of September. So everything for September is going to be meat focused. All right, we'll see you next week.